they have to prepare for the CEVO Grand Final should they make it. They have to make it to the ESCA LAN that's coming up this weekend. Maybe some of the tricks that you'll see are some set pieces that you've seen before, some takes that you've seen before, and some basic defaults that you've seen before. Surely you'll see the aim intact and the tactical thinking that you're used to, but maybe that one trick pony, those incendiary nades that they're looking to throw out all over the place may not happen.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it does. People saying, "Oh no, complexity is just gonna pug it."
Yeah, it's quite possible. There's another thought to be had, Clay, is that how do we compare this to the last time we saw them? Because the last time we saw them was well, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the start of the game probably wasn't the best. Both teams actually not playing to the best of their abilities or to, you know, the normal standard that we would expect these guys to be playing at. A lot of missed easy shots and just a lot of, I guess, fail in general to certain degrees. But I mean, it was entertaining.
I don't really fear the repercussions here of the people in chat who are iBUYPOWER and Complexity fans. They will openly admit they saw people falling out of the rafters. We saw like full-on strafe spraying, 5 missed shots from nothing as he tried to follow somebody into the hut. It was really, it's just so painful to watch. And I think I saw threads on it on later in the night, people on the forum saying like, what did I just watch? Like, that was weird.
I wouldn't doubt it. It was very weird. And when we were casting, we were like, "What's going on here? Are they playing drunk or something?"
These guys should be playing much better now. They've been tuning up for the LAN. They've been tuning up for the playoffs for a long time now. So you know you can tell that they'll be on point with their shooting tonight. I'll be looking for some micro strategies that we've seen them employ before. Remember the last time we saw them, they didn't really break out the ops early, and they wanted to just kind of use the assault rifle approach. One thing that I'm keen on finding out is whether or not they employ a designated opper, because they didn't do that before. And when they tried to, I think it was Sean Gares who was
I think Sean Gares picked up the op like twice in that match.
Yeah, and he was really, we pointed this out, he was really badly money suppressed, and that was on purpose.
Yeah. Like you talked about in the last match, you know, if you can find that opera and suppress him, you know, make sure he dies pretty much every round, then he's probably not going to be able to buy an op throughout the game. And then we did notice that we've seen Adren actually opping more than Skadoodle for the most part, and I think he's actually kind of become the iBUYPOWER opper now.
Yeah, that's very true. We have a couple people connecting, and just for safety's sake, Clay, let's get you connected. I see 5 in here, but the moment...
already in.
All right, we can't even make a mistake if we tried.
Nope.
Let's give you a little bit of background. Maybe you're just rejoining the Counter-Strike scene. This information courtesy of our very good friend Dus Moret, who is so kind to share with us his analytics or his background history on both of these teams. Let's talk a little bit about Complexity Gaming. Maybe you joined us on CEVO and CEVO TV to watch the Complexity 10th anniversary tournament that was hosted through us. That was a fun tournament, but they were not always Complexity. This roster, you may know them as Area 51 with TCK in the roster, or you may know them as Quantic before they were Complexity. So a lot of this team has been building up gradually over time. It didn't just come together as its final form and coalesce overnight. Yeah, according to Clay. iBUYPOWER was, of course, Curse. You know iBUYPOWER. They have Adren who's constantly putting out those guide videos, and you're learning a great deal about them. Yeah, very helpful. Good insight as to what his thought process is per round here. You might know them as maybe dynamic in source. Dazed was actually, I believe, on this roster at some point, and he may have crossed the fence. I don't know the actual date there, but maybe our audience can fill us in there, because they are also historians. Now, both of these teams in their final forms, as we see them now, attended the DreamHack Winter LAN, and we know that iBUYPOWER had that early exit that was just really unfortunate, because we got to see one wonderful story of Complexity literally just tearing a new hole into the LAN and dropping, literally just going Neil Armstrong, dropping the flag right in the middle of the room saying, "We're here," you know?
Yeah. They did really well, and yeah, it was disappointing to see iBUYPOWER going home in the first round. I mean, we've seen them play so many times before, and they do so well, and I had high hopes for them, but it just wasn't in the cards for him this time at DreamHack, but Complexity, like you said, made a very nice showing, beating some of the top European teams, and I think they really stamped themselves as contenders in the international scene. So
yeah, they really couldn't get it going. I believe they were 9-16 versus Recursive, and then 8-16 on another map versus them. It was a non-starter, and I think, to be honest with you, against Recursive, they could have been considered the favorites, and it's not a world beater kind of roster that the Recursive is fielding that iBUYPOWER couldn't deal with. So it falls in my categories, or in my buckets of categories, as one of those games that is just one of those freak games. Maybe you couldn't have prepared for that moment. Yeah,
that could have been the situation, but we won't really know until you do one of your interviews with them. You just muted yourself and then started talking.
No!
You weren't muted when you were doing whatever you did. And then
I'm all paranoid that I'm muting myself now that I'm muting myself to unmute myself, and that's when you know you've totally lost it as a caster. Just time to retire and just call it a career. I was gonna say, let's focus on the positives, because we start with that depressing, like they didn't live up to expectations. Let's talk about who did live up to expectations and maybe exceeded them. Complexity was phenomenal. That I can't even, I won't use another word. They were phenomenal, and not only that, for essentially a full week, they had everybody questioning, did Counter-Strike meta just change?
Yeah, they did. They pulled out the use of incendiaries and Molotovs, and they used them very, very well against the European teams that they played against. And I think that was honestly a big contributing factor to them picking up the rounds that they needed to pick up those wins.
And, the chat while we were in there was fantastic. It was like they could pick up on the fact, like, what are all these fire nades doing in this game?
Yeah, and I mean, they work really well at moving the counter terrorists off their spots. I'm thinking most notably was the game on Inferno. Oh man, who did they play against on Inferno? Was it Fairy Games?
Well, okay, everybody in that tournament played Inferno. It was ridiculous how much, but it could have been 80. It could have been very, I don't know.
Yeah, either way, they were using their Molotovs T side so well on that B site, and it was just completely decimating the competition over there. And they picked up so many rounds, and they also had that really sneaky play to win it, which was just really awesome to see.
It was, and I think maybe one of the best called it wasn't a set piece, it was actually a take on a site and an impromptu ad hoc, just turn around and go plant it. No science to this. It was literally, I think it was Swag just being like, should I turn around? And then everyone was like, yes, yes. And then they did it. That sort of artistry is only improvisational, and I'm thrilled to be able to see that maybe we'll just get some improv magic tonight.
Yep, hopefully we will. But speaking, I mean, we've seen these teams play on Nick before. What do you think are the main things we'll be expecting out of them? Since, we did talk about they probably aren't going to use anything new. But what do you think are the typical playing aspects from these teams that we'll see?
Me, Clay, I'm not the analyst here. Come on now.
You are now.
I am now. So what do we know about these teams? Well, we know that many people can sort of become an entry fragger role here. So there's no one to really lean on and be watching. Yeah, you could say Anger, you could say Hiko, but it falls on anyone to do that. And when you're thinking about entry frags, you're thinking about ramp room. We'll look to see who's fighting on CT side and T side there. That could be a determinant for success in this match. Who's opping, whether or not they're opping, because there are two schools of thought here. Is that a necessary thing to do? Well, if you can one-tap AK everybody, maybe not.
I'm expecting to see Hiko playing his Here's Johnny routine at Squeaky Door, where he puts that little hole in the wall and then just kind of works to pick up headshots.
So all I'm getting at is that there are some definite battles that have been outlined, like Skadoodle and Sean Gears, but the one player I'm going to pick exactly one to give you a concise answer is Sympus. I want to see him see how he rotates from his hell position, the lockers, the heaven position on CT to help other players on this map, because I think the last time we saw him, he was really pivotal and instrumental to Complexity's holds on a couple of the rounds, though they ended up losing.
Yeah.
Looks like we'll have a restart pretty quick.
Yeah,
Let's
we
get
should
your
have a
prediction.
restart. We're waiting on... oh, no, we do have 5 people in here. All right. Prediction.
Let's hear your prediction. Hurry.
Starting out, counter-terrorist, I think they're probably going to be favoring iBUYPOWER here. Something to the tune of 16-12.
Are we truly live? No, that's a lot of TK. Thank God I didn't do my intro. 16-12. Yeah, that's a pretty close game, especially considering Nuke. You know, like we said, you don't take too much from the strats in this map. You're not going to see too many strats, but you'll be able to see who's really tuned up, because these two teams don't get very many opportunities to play good teams. Like, they'll actively avoid scrimming each other for the express purpose of not giving away too much. This is one of the times that they're forced to play an opponent of equal skill, and it's going to be a real test for the both of them to see, okay, who's in good shooting form right now? Who's in bad shooting form right now? Are we comparing when it comes to shooting form to our opponents? And that's going to be the real test, I think.
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. That's going to be interesting to see, like you said. Hopefully we have a good one. Hopefully it is going to be a close one. I would hate to see a total blowout from these two teams, but I mean, it's one of those things that you don't want to see it, but you kind of do at the same time, just because you want to see how the other team, what they use to do such a...
You ready?
But yeah, I'm ready. Are we going live finally?
That looks like it. I saw a config drop. I think a restart will be coming momentarily. And there it is. Ready, Clay? Deep breath. I hope I just didn't give myself hiccups. That would be bad. You are watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klotz. This is the Season 3 CEVO-Main playoffs, the round of 4 for the upper bracket. It's the match that you've been waiting for, the never-ending battle between up and down, red and blue, toast and waffles, and Tide and Clorox. It's Complexity versus iBUYPOWER. We finally are underway. It's our first round, Clay. Pull up the overhead map. Let's see what the breakout is like for Complexity and how they'll set up. It looks like everybody will be going to the lobby. And it will be AZK that they challenge on the ramp. They're pushing through, and AZK has not counter-smoked them thus far. It's a hold. It's a really, really slow hold. They'll wait. Swag and Nothing stacked up behind each other, pressing themselves up against the wall, making their body profiles very, very difficult to see. They'll wait until they're ready. AZK will be the man they isolate. He'll be the first one. Fires a couple shots and hits literally nothing. He'll have to retreat after doing no damage, but he'll be chased, and this is always going to be a kill if you have your turn, if you've got your back turned. Anger has rotated down. He's in the control, wants to peek up and find a headshot. He's got one, but he gets traded out. Good entry from Complexity. They'll have to wait until their teammates, Complexity, actually will not wait. They'll sprint out. Complexity is really holding on to the site well, but though they've been badly weakened, Skadoodle on the retake has a kill. That's Hiko that went down, and that leaves Sempis and who are the ads?
Sean Gares.
Sean Gares has decided to make the A's in his Sean Gares name his entire name.
Yeah. So Complexity picking up that first round, and that was a little bit of clever play by their Complexity. They stacked up 3 guys in the radio room area. AZK didn't know they were there. He didn't do any counter nades. And then they had Hiko and I believe it was Sean Gares, make some noise in the hut area, opening up the squeaky door, acting like they were maybe, looking for kills and throwing out a little noise distraction, which gave the terrorist Complexity more time to get in there and kind of surprise AZK a little bit.
You're absolutely right. That 2-man stack pressed up against the wall gave AZK the false impression that nobody was in that room. And as they came storming out, he had no warning. He had thought he had cleared out that hallway, but because they were so patient, they caught him, and they caught him badly out of position. Adren will try to use that pierceable wall to hit somebody on top of the big rock. He doesn't do any damage. He blows out the vents, probably as a sound cue to at least, tell someone that there's a chance I'm rotating. They don't bite on it. Sean Gares has his P90 long range at a distance, chooses to disengage because his P90 may lose out to a P250. Smart there. Daisy's one on the big rock. It's a clear all-out outer take. This is smart play at a distance on an eco round. You want to have your rifles matched up with pistols at that far of a range.
Yeah, exactly. And they know that the long engagements, the rifles are going to have the advantage, so that's what they're pressing here.
AZK and his teammate Adren wait patiently. Enter. No exchanges thus far. 50 seconds. This is going to turn into an all-out rush in a matter of moments because they'll have to commit to a bomb site. Skadoodle keeps peeking, trying to gather some information, gets headshotted though. Too many attempts at a long-range fight against a team like Complexity will only end up with you being eliminated. So Skadoodle down. 9 left total with 30 seconds remaining. We're gonna see an all-out blitz in a second. I know it, and it's gonna be very, very dramatic.
Yeah, they have to pretty much go for that. Like you said, they're setting up here. Semphis playing the lurk position here, it looks like upper. And it looks like the bomb's going to be making their way down as Semphis is falling as well.
Yeah, here we go. Adren has stepped through into the hut. He thinks that somebody's behind him. He has good game awareness, but now he's turned away too quickly. Guns being exchanged. Here's a picked up rifle. 2 rifles available for the CTs, though they have only recovered 1. Adren has an AK. Nothing sprays up into the upper in case somebody's rotating through the vent. He gets shot in the back. Anger and Adren have traded out. This eco round may go in their favor unless Semphis can save it. Our number 7 man is now hiding. He's at the back hall behind the vent. He's now stepping into the vents, looking for somebody to equalize. If he gets a kill and turns this into a one-on-one, it'll be huge. He misses his opportunity, puts his shot in between 2 counter-terrorists, and the eco round is a success.
It is a success. God, it is a success. There we go. Yeah, I mean, good play by iBUYPOWER. You know, they took it slow. They had a little misplays where they were peeking, going up against the rifles and kind of paid for it. But for the most part, you know, they played safely and waited for the opportunity to get good shots off on these guys with their pistols, and it turned in their favor. Look, quick, no, Complexity actually took that. What the hell am I talking about?
That bomb went off, actually, at the very end. We had written that off as a victory for them, but they had not even bought a kit.
Jeez.
And in the words of Red Eye,
got me good right there.
Please buy the kit. That's so frustrating for iBUYPOWER. Yeah, that's a huge win for them if they had just thought to spend the extra $200, but they did not. Swag will spray through, get a piercing headshot onto AZK. 3 men are stacked in here, and Complexity have not yet identified it. Now they have, and they've cleared it out. Everybody's alive for Cole, but everybody is hanging on life support with the exception of Hiko, and nothing. Actually, his health bar was hidden from me for a moment. Skadoodle and Adren now hang on, trying to figure out what to do with this eco round. They can get some easy kills if they find the right people, but it looks like they'll be playing pretty passive and hanging on to an AK, Clay, probably in some good interest just to hang on to that one for the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can hold on to it, cannot. But yeah, wow, that kit completely got me off guard. I guess that's payback for when Hiko didn't have the kit the last time they played on Dust 2, and he lost the game. They lost the game because of no kit.
If you're a long-time watcher of our channel on Fixation TV, I think we did Curse versus Quantic, which is ironically pretty much this versus this.
Yeah.
I think at a very late round that turned out to be 16-13, the final game-winning round, Hiko clutched, got a nice triple. I was screaming. I was pretty much screaming hallelujahs and praising hosannas. I was all in on the Hiko train, and he couldn't defuse without a kit, and I flipped out on camera. It was ugly.
Very, very upsetting.
We have our gun rounds now, and Clay, one of the things that we're keeping an eye out for is the tune-up, right? Who is shooting well? Who will go into the tournament shooting well? That's a big story for me, and thus far, it's Adren. He seems to be doing the job. Semphis, he has a 4-2 score, but we saw him make a pretty weird-looking miss from that vent, so we'll keep a close eye on him. Thus far, a basic hold, a 2-man ramp hold. That's a standard meta play for these counter-terrorists these days. It's a heavy lobby hold and a slow play by the T's. You like this? You like the change up here? We've seen a lot of delays that turn into very violent, quick bursting speed, and now we have a genuine delay.
Yeah, it's different, and I'm sure we're going to see something happen here on a certain time here, and it looks like they are going to be pressing outer now, but like you said, I like it. It's different, and it's changing up the play and going to make iBUYPOWER think about what's going on.
Here's the change here. When the last time we saw these two teams, they heavily focused ramp to the point where they just didn't even look toward outer. Now today, outer seems to be a point of contention where they are out to win it. And with no ops on the field, the AKs are outclassing the M4s. Complexity are taking round after round, forcing iBUYPOWER to fall back and rotate into a weaker defensive position at lower. Though Adren doesn't really care how weak his position is. He blows away Swag, who does a cartwheel on my screen at least. Bomb Planter will get away with his plant and walk away with not too much health. Anger transfers his spray and brings down 2. It's a one-on-one with no help between the two of them. Here's the defense. Hiko gets the better of him. That was a big play by both players. I thought we had a triple clutch coming.
It was a really big play by Anger right there, but he got caught reloading. I don't think he expected Hiko to be that deep into the site right there, so a little bit unfortunate for him. But right now, Complexity just taking full control of this game, winning the first 4 rounds of the match, and that's going to put iBUYPOWER on another save, which is most likely going to go to Complexity. And we did see that eco happen on round 2, which got failed by the no kit. So I mean, I wouldn't count them out yet. They are going for their little P250 buy here, it looks like. So
and we know we're not seeing some amazing strats, like we said, but there's a point of pride about playing hard and making sure that you're up to par in terms of your shooting right now. And iBUYPOWER on an advantageous side is losing pretty badly, even though we're talking about pistols and ecos. Here's a charge through. You know, on an eco round, on a clear eco round, you're gonna get some suicidal charges through the lobby or through whatever position you're holding. So Complexity just chose to say, yeah, let's not deal with that this time. Let's go outer. Skadoodle will ambush Sempus, recover a weapon in, well, a moment if he can challenge the person who's at T-Red. Anger has to hit this headshot with his 5.7. He's literally has no choice. There's the moment. Swag was too fast. Yep. Swag has swagged. Wow. Daze gets 3 bursted. He, in the dark spot, goes down in a heap. AZK turns around trying to salvage this round with his newly found AK. He loses that battle to nothing. Skadoodle will be the last one down. It's 5-0 Complexity. You know, we expected the eco not to go in their favor, but iBUYPOWER needs to kind of start thinking about, we need a lot of rounds, and we need them in bunches.
Yeah, I expected the eco round to go probably a little bit better, maybe force a little bit more rebuys. I know they had some opportunities that they missed to force, you know, more. They did get 2 going, but, you know, for the most part, still not looking too good in terms of cash to that, and now they're actually behind a little bit. I'm only seeing, you know, 3 helmets ball on these guys, so Adrenaline Daze not wearing that helmet armor.
You want to see how closely these two teams play together. Hit Q just really momentarily to see total damage dealt. These teams are mirror image of each other. They will do so much damage, but it'll look exactly the same. There's no spread in that damage deviation chart.
I'd hit it, but there's a lot of action going on right now, so...
Yeah, no, I definitely... I saw that. I was like, oh, I should stop talking. There's a one-tap. Sempus brings down Daze, who's behind the CT Red. That's a long-distance connection. Sempus, who we talked about, questionably being hot, questionably missing some easy shots, makes the case that I am definitely hot. I am prepared for LAN, so let's go today. Anger, AZK, and Adren, all with rifles, now trying to figure out, well, we're kind of on a bad slide here. We need to stop the slide. Oh, Swag had his number. You know, Sempus saw his position. I can tell you that Swag got that kill not by just pure guesswork. When Sempus dropped down and died, no doubt he told his teammate Swag he's in the back corner, spray the back corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's good communication by these teams, you know, and it really helps out. As we saw, that was an easy kill for Swag to pick up. 6-0 for Complexity. Adren getting an op now, finally, but he is low. I think that's all he was able to buy. No armor whatsoever, no nades, so he's going to be trying to come up with something here. Maybe at ramp room, or, yeah, it looks like he's going to be playing... No? I speak too soon. He's playing Outer Raptors.
Right, Anger gets the first one. Sempus stepped into the site by himself, trying to solo push, trying to challenge Anger. Pico will absolutely blow a hole through him. That one came through the peek hole that we were talking about, playing his little peekaboo game through the single blown metal piece away from that door at the squeaky. So it's a 1-1 trade, Anger for Sempus. And it's a stalemate. They want to take inner. Adren was aiming at the headshot box. Nothing was standing to its left. Good little mind game there to not stand in the predictable spot. He gets the advantageous kill there. 4 holding the site. 3 counter-terrorists remain. They'll need to do a perfect simultaneous retake. They got 1 in the mini, 1 in heaven, 1 in the vent. They'll time it together and come in together. Here comes the action. 2 kills immediately. A trade out by nothing. Hiko cleans up the last. That's a brilliant hold, and they're absolutely blanking iBUYPOWER.
They really are. This is honestly, this is really surprising. I mean, looking at this match, 7-0, and thinking, you know, Complexity probably isn't, you know, using their A material here, saving it for the LAN coming up. I mean, that's kind of worrisome for the other teams who are going to be in attendance. Yeah, I mean, they're just playing phenomenally right now.
It's a definite declaration that, you know, we're not even going our hardest, but at least our aim is top notch right now. Adren is going to get the better of Sean Gares there. He had no chance because he got spotted as he ran into the hut. It's really a good warm up here. It's got to be a little bit concerning for iBUYPOWER. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Adren will push through and find Swag, who is just too fast for him. Nothing will trade out AZK as well. 3 left for both teams. And this is a round that I'm going to start saying must win, Clay. Must win for iBUYPOWER.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, 7-0 T-side for Complexity, that's just, that's too many rounds already to allow, especially for a team of this caliber. I mean, obviously, iBUYPOWER is good enough to go on a run T-side, but it's just not expected on Nuke here, so it is very problematic.
It is. So let's talk. Oh, wow. 2 bursts. Hiko brings down Skadoodle, who thought he had a nice, clever spot set up, but he did not anticipate somebody dragging late, coming through the T-red there. Another trade. Daze will long-range connect with Hiko, who is just turning the corner, trying to enter, coordinating with Swag. Swag had a teammate thinking that, we can enter upper together, it'll be all safe, but now the party's a little bit dampened, and now they have to think of new strategies here. Anger one-on-one with nothing, gets the better of him with the Famas burst. The bomb gets dropped, leaving Swag as our clutch player. We'll stick with him for the remainder of the round. Swag drums through the control, finds the bomb, and is thinking to himself, this has to be a trap, right? This gotta be a trap. I'm not even gonna poke, I'm just gonna suicide plant and try to get it over with. Does he actually go for the plant? I think he's gonna go for it. He'll go for the kills. Days of the first. Swag sprays the smoke, hoping to find somebody. He knows that somebody's behind that silo. He says, to hell with it. I need to plant this bomb, so let's do it. He's right there, right next to him. Anger got the better of him. What a mind game. Anger, with utmost, even shoot a bullet after the first one.
Yeah, I think Swag kind of got a little bit lost in his own smoke right there, because when he came out right there, he wasn't looking anywhere near where he thought the players were. I'm pretty sure he knew that he was over to the right side, but he was looking off to the left of the cylinder right there. So
yeah. A human moment for these otherworldly good aimers.
Exactly, right?
So your impression
they can't
thus
make
far,
mistakes.
You know, the meta that was leaning toward ramp the last time we saw them is now mostly evened out. We see a lot of outer emphasis here, Clay, and that makes you happy, I'm sure.
It does. You know, we always talk about how important outer is, but then we just don't really see it. So it's good to see, you know, these teams putting heavy presence on outer, because once you get control of that, it really gives you a lot more options on this map.
Really ballsy hop by Nothing, who did a bunny hop over the peak box at outer and avoided Skadoodle's shots. Not only that, turned around to the garage and brought down Skadoodle, who had missed like 3 bursts on him to really get that kill going, but Nothing just too fast. Adren looking at the hut. We know that there's someone in there. He does not until he shoots anyway. That kill gets cleaned up. That's a clean one. And this may be... never mind, unless the party gets completely ruined. Never mind. Semphis gets killed. AZK brings up the second round for iBUYPOWER. Clay. We talked about this in the last match, right? You know, you've got to... even if this is not for all the marbles, and this doesn't determine the ultimate winner of the league, for pride's sake and for game management, you have to, as an in-game leader, Daze in particular, temper expectations, right? You can get emotionally scarred if you try to bite off too much at a time. What are you telling your teammates right now to try to get them back into playing form, as you are clearly now able to get some rounds?
Pretty much we got to hold our spots and make sure we hit our shots, because right now, Complexity, it seems like they're just out aiming iBUYPOWER for the most part. And that's just unacceptable at this level of play. These guys got to be able to hit these shots, and I think that's what we've been seeing lately, because the rounds have been a lot closer, where previously the first 7 was pretty heavily favored towards Complexity.
Right, these teams that we're used to seeing, they're good at doing defaults, forced takes, they're good at doing full-on set pieces, but they can't really use the ladder. They can't use the full-on set pieces, so now they rely on aim. The counter-terrorists have taken a more aggressive stance to it. You can see some fast rotates, really fast rotates by iBUYPOWER to try to get numbers on top of the Complexity players who seem to be out shooting them, and that seems to be working for them. It's working now. The entire entry of this round has kind of gone awry, as they've lost 2 people early. Sean Gears and Nothing are now dead. Rely on Swag to try to even it up, but now as it stands with 50 seconds left and down 2, this round might also be an iBUYPOWER round.
It does look to be that way. Only 3 members left to Complexity alive, like you said, and you see Swag getting some smokes going down on outer, trying to sell something over here, while the rest of his team, you see actually Semphis is pushing down ramp, but I don't think he knows that AZK is down there waiting for him.
All right, well, let's say that we'll keep an eye on the rotate speeds, Clay, because I think that could be a pivotal change going forward in the remainder of this half. Or Swag could just absolutely wreck Anger. He could just step in and know exactly where he is, 2-tap him, and make the case that this round is not yet over. Hiko gets 1, almost got a 2 if he transferred that spray. He did not. Skadoodle cleans that up with 2 left. Skadoodle and AZK just barely make it out. They have another round tacked on. The momentum is starting to build up, Clay, and no doubt this has to be an eco now.
It is. It should be an eco. Looking at their money, only 4,500 on Nothing for the most amount. 3,700 on Hiko, falling behind him. So yeah, I think they're going to go for a save here, and actually see Semphis picking up a deagle. And last time we saw that, he did some dirty things with that against was it Kurt Rambis fan club, I believe.
Probably was.
Yeah. That should be interesting. And
it looks like a suicide rush into the hut. They decided to smoke it. It makes it that much harder for the enemies to get out. And sadly, there was no initial bloodshed. They kind of just let everybody come out, and they allowed for kind of a bomb plant. I think they're going to get this off unless Skadoodle and AZK rotate as fast as they did. Sempus is on a 1-on-2. He's below them, and he is in the vent, but he's given away his position by throwing that frag nade, so maybe this round's already over. Do you challenge them? You've got a minute 20. They're going to hunt you. You might as well try to counter hunt them.
Yeah, I agree with that, and they're ahead. I mean, Complexity is up 7 rounds T-side. They're already looking good. They're feeling good about it, so might as well, you know, go for the clutch here.
You're metaphorically playing with house money.
Yeah, and one thing about that entry, where you said they kind of just let him enter, I think that might have been a smart play by iBUYPOWER because rather than just shooting and, you know, trying to spray through objects, you know, get some damage down and giving away your position, they kind of just decided to go for the move around, get into a better firing angle, and get good clear shots onto him.
Surely that was unintentional. I saw a smoke thrown, and people were just trying to desperately get out their rifles, being like, God, please draw faster. One thing that I wanted to talk about was on Nuke, do people purposely change to the M4A1 these days? Because when you're above them in the rafters and they don't get hit indicators, it's very difficult to locate people. And I noticed both inner players are using silenced M4s. That could be something to think about going forward. Yeah,
it could be. I do know, you know, some people have trouble with the M4A1 in terms of the ammo and its lack thereof, I guess, compared to the other M4. iBUYPOWER, I don't think they'll have too many issues with that, as we see AZK gets a nice decapitation there as Sempus was trying to go up the ladder there.
Sempus thought he was so sneaky for a moment, had a moment where he was like, oh, I'm
gonna get these guys. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to get him. It's like the alligator crawling out of the toilet. All AKs and a SCAR on the field for the CTs. M4A1s across the board for the CTs. iBUYPOWER finally crawling back into this one, clawing back in a half that they should have been leading. Now, if they can win out, maybe they'll have a chance to put together a really good second half. We can only hope. Oh, my Lord. Skadoodle one-tapping through the smoke, hoping to get the kill. Had a perfect bead on the head level. Never even saw the guy. Brought him down. No sweat. 3 Ts left. Not a problem thus far. They're all stuck in the lobby, and they're all going to be trying to push the squeaky, it looks like. Here's the Executioner, Adren, just above Sean Gares and above Sempus. That leaves Hiko by himself, and... oh, no, he wanted the Batman knife. I can't blame him, dude. If you're on fire like that, you go for the Batman knife. Why not?
Yep, Adren trying to do Hiko dirty right there. Didn't work out for him. Now Hiko's trying to get this clutch going, but against 4 members of iBUYPOWER when you only have 16 health, probably not possible.
You probably go down as legendary if you pull off a 16 HP 4-man clutch.
At least he gets the bomb down, gets his team some money, but yeah. Nice job there by Hiko, you know, salvaging something from that round. And he did avoid the knife from Adren, so good for him.
Yep. We're on to the next. I like this from iBUYPOWER. This is a good rally, and it's a good feeling, you know? It's an absolutely good feeling to turn it around. Now we'll find out, you know, by the end of the game we'll find out, was it too late? Let's take a look at the contributions that I wanted to talk about early, Clay. When I hit Q earlier, I was at round 6, and literally the damage dealt was mirrored. Now on this run, look at the divergence of the 2 charts, and specifically look at Adren's play. Adren has pulled up and is way above the gradient of everyone in this game. He is playing beastly.
Yeah, and Complexity did pull away there in the damage done, but now they've converged back together because we have seen iBUYPOWER has been coming back here. Dave's pushing through there, nice shot, and ballsy play actually going through that smoke. We know how dangerous that is in the go.
Yeah, they've been playing passive, and it seems that Complexity has been teeing off on them early on, so Daze decides to change up the pace, run through, and find somebody to kill. He does. Nothing was the sad victim of that play. They'll trade out AZK, 2 deaths to 1 thus far, feeling okay with the round. They'll reach the second lobby that we like to pontificate about. They are in there just waiting to determine whether or not their play will be to lower or to continue on or reverse track, and that's very flexible when you're on a map like DE Nuke.
Yeah, and you see the CTs do send Anger down into the vents there to look for that push down to lower, and they leave the rest of their team upper for the most part. So, you know, just have the scouts out waiting to see what Complexity is going to be doing here, and it looks like they're going to be sticking towards lower for the most part.
Right, Daze will step down into the ramp and... not the ramp, excuse me, the ladder. Yeah, I know, I saw it too. I saw it too. He's got to be a little bit disappointed with himself. He missed an easy tee-off kill, and he shot his own teammate. He's got to be like, oh, God, I hope nobody saw that, but we did.
Yeah,
We
we saw it.
3T's now waiting. They got 30 seconds. They got the bomb, but they're a little bit tentative here. They don't want to commit. Oh, they found him. Anger, who was trying to be a little bit sneaky peeky, got peeked by Sean Gares with the CT auto sniper. A drop in the vents gives away a position of 1 CT. Sean Gares now swiveling back and forth, trying to find the man. He finds Skadoodle, but that wasn't the man he shot. Adren is behind, jumping down the steps. Nobody quite knows where he is until that door just opened, and now Hiko has a surefire bead on him. But Adren wins with a touchdown nade. He did some damage, and the nade cleaned it up for him. Interesting play, and I don't think Adren... Nope, never. You didn't see him. Semphis will bring down Adren. That's another win for Complexity. They're going to have 8 now, 8-5, and the best you can pull off is 8-7. It's a win-out scenario, like we said.
Yeah, Sean Gares picked up that auto sniper there and was watching the vents. And, I mean, trying to go through the vents when there's someone with an auto sniper watching it, pretty much you're just committing suicide for the most part. It's a small area. You have nowhere to run, and that thing cannot miss for the most part. So he just has to point it down that small aisle and hold down the trigger, and it's going to do some damage there. So, I mean, that put him in the favor of that round a little bit. So now Complexity at 8, and, I mean... At this point, I can't imagine how iBUYPOWER is feeling about this.
Oh, well, you know, iBUYPOWER Skadoodle doesn't really feel good about that. He had just bought into this round hoping to walk away with some kills, and Semphis just ruined his day and Angers. He gets a double for the round, and he presses on to hell. He'll get a triple. Yeah, Semphis is on fire. It's official. He's going to push right underneath AZK. AZK doesn't really know, and he's having a really hard time picking up that kill on nothing. He does, but dumps the entire mag. So Semphis has a quad in the round and almost had the ace, but Daze just a little bit too fast. He reloads his M4A1. It's a doable 1-on-2, and it's really a moment of desperation for him. It's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking 1-on-2, but now, Clay, if you're the IGL, you don't have to call strats. Now it's time to make plays, and that's what I'll tell you from personal experience. This is when you feel good. You're like, I don't have to think anymore. I can just shoot.
I can just shoot. Yeah, you always made sure to tell us, hey, all IGNs are bottom fraggers because they're too busy calling strats and thinking about what's going on in the game. So
thankfully, I was the top fragger on our team. Daze has 2. 2 terrorists now creeping into upper. They'll plant the bomb. Daze has a pretty good idea of where they'll go because the sound is right in front of him. But the directional sound in CSGO is not perfect, so he could be tricked. He really could be. We'll find out. Our number 4 man, he took the bait, and he thinks it's lower. He's wrong. He's like, oh, God. He goes back up, starts bunny hopping back. He'll choose the ladder to go to heaven. He will try to clutch, given how late it is in the half. And I think if he does climb this ladder, he's got to get an early kill. He really does. He comes up over the top, sees a fire nade. He's identified one location. If he clears that man, he'll have a chance. But Hiko cleans up with Sean Gares. Auto sniper brings down Daze. Complexity is authoring a beautiful half.
And he goes down burning. Looking at the money situation, only 2 members of iBUYPOWER are going to be able to buy here. So this is going to be a tough round for them, and I don't know if they're going to be able to come out with an eco victory here. It's going to be tough, but let's see.
But that's our thing. It's a bad looking buy here. 5.7s, a Deagle, a couple M4A1s, and maybe 4 nades between all of them. Maybe 5. Early flash to stop the push here. If they get an early kill, they'll have a chance. But Daze jumped out with his nade primed, and that will never end well. Not against teams like Complexity. It's 4-4, however. Still an even chance, all things considered. Complexity feeling pretty good just to wait, content just to let the game come to them. They're playing very calm, very smooth right now, and they're playing very well in sync. The counter-terrorists seem a bit jittery. Their rotates getting faster and faster every time, trying to make up for lost ground. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. But I think at this point when they are on the eco and they aren't winning the gun battle, I think then they do need to rely on those quick rotates here.
So is our question answered already, Clay? Is the team who's most tuned up for all these big playoff tournaments? Is it Complexity right now?
That's what it seems, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past iBUYPOWER to come out strong in the ESCA land, so...
Well, Adren feels like he's pretty warmed up. Sean Gares eats some 5.7. Nobody went to retrieve that weapon because clearly it was a trap. Another hedge. Oh, nothing! Victim of the highlight reel. Adren fits a shot right through the tiny squeaky door hole, and that is beautiful. That was amazing, and it looks better with that Chrome 5.7. Not the Chrome, the case-hardened steel 5.7.
Yeah,
2 left for Complexity.
I was going to say Hiko is looking like he's going to try and sneak around here towards Mini, but...
Not too much time to really be flexible about it. 15 seconds left in the half. and Sempis has picked up one. 13 seconds left. They've really got to make a play here. They're going to charge for the bomb plants. This eco round may just work out because Complexity never even gave themselves a chance to succeed. They lose that round purely because they outfought themselves. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. And after the game, we'll have another giveaway, I think. Is that right?
Correct.
Right, and you're watching round 4 of CEVO-Main's upper bracket playoffs. This is an interesting one. iBUYPOWER versus Complexity. More coming up right now. Clay, give me your thoughts on the half.
Surprising. Honestly, I did not think Complexity was going to just dominate the T side as much as they did. Getting 9 rounds T side it's pretty ridiculous on Nuke. You know, I thought iBUYPOWER was going to have more of a solid defense going into this, but you know, like we said, Complexity just looked like their shots were on point compared to iBUYPOWER. And I mean, we did see iBUYPOWER coming back and, you know, getting into the groove of things, but I mean, hopefully they could keep it going into this next half.
Here we go. Please follow the channel, by the way. We'd really appreciate it. This channel does need to grow as CEVO does expand over the next couple of seasons, so you guys have somewhere to watch. Esports, we're into the pistol round, and it's a 5-man pain train. iBUYPOWER says, to hell with subtlety, we're rushing you this time. It doesn't matter. It's a beautiful exchange that iBUYPOWER wins handily. 2 left for Complexity, only 1 now. Swag will literally have to go full-on swag mode to win this one. I don't think he has too much of a chance as he's surrounded. Now we have knife attempts here. Anger, it says, no joy. I want that headshot. iBUYPOWER.
Swag saying thank you for killing me and not letting me get the knife.
Yeah, thank you. Don't let me get posterized and dunked on. Just make it at least respectable. So he got that mercy at least. iBUYPOWER has 2 more to pick up and they tie it up, Clay. But, you know, terrorist side uphill climb.
Yep, and we're seeing actually the terrorists all buying rifles except for Adren. He's sticking with the P250 and head armor with some nades. I think he's going to be trying to save for the op on the 4th round.
Same train of thought here. You know, eco round. We have rifles, they have pistols. Let's go outer because the engagement distance is super far. That's the right decision, isn't it?
It is, and like I said, I feel like we don't see that enough in our other games that we cast. But, you know, hopefully people are watching this and realizing that when you have the rifle advantage, you can take out it quite easily.
Oh, Sean Gears doesn't matter. I don't think you need a rifle to stop everybody. If you have that kind of aim, 3 headshots in a row equals up the odds. Hiko and Swag, now with their 5.7s, have a decent fighting chance to pick up rifles and win this, though Hiko chooses to go straight down the vent. Skadoodle's right up against that wall, and he will surprise Swag. And if he cleans up this last kill, that'll be a triple on the round for him. AZK's lurking right below. Hiko's got a very, very small chance of pulling this off unless he parachutes down. He doesn't. AZK cleans it up. iBUYPOWER will eventually tie this up. Excuse me. They'll only be at 8. I thought we were 1 round ahead.
Sean Gare is going so hard right there. Apparently 5.7 greater than AKs. Yeah, so, you know, Caster Curse, we talk about one thing and then it just completely gets debunked right there.
Maybe if we want close games, we'll just jinx them badly.
Yeah, oh, no, they can't do that.
No, they can't, and then we 16-14 game.
And Adren's still going for that save, even though he had the money. I think he actually may have bought someone. Let me take a look at the cash.
Yeah.
No, he saved. So yeah, he's still trying to get that off. And I think if he does get that off, we'll probably be seeing, you know, trying to work out her for the most part.
Sean Gare's in a very, very precarious position. Fired a couple deagle shots, didn't get a kill, and you knew the moment that he had wasted 5 shots that he wasn't going to get that accuracy back. He lost his life, lost his deagle, surrendered it to iBUYPOWER. 4 left for the CTs. Pretty much moving out to the 4 corners, the 4 important corners of the map, trying to get some vision to see where everybody is. Swag is right behind this wall. If nobody checks, he'll have an ambush kill, but they're too methodical. They saw him. He's screwed. Adren saw him first. He didn't have a chance. Oh, wow. Nothing. Embarrassing Skadoodle. That was beautiful. AZK will transfer his shot after missing the first burst. Hiko goes down. Nothing has an AK, and this is a valuable gun to save. Maybe you've done enough. Maybe you just hold on to this and hold out for 50 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like he's going to try to get it because he knows that the bomb is down, so he's going to try to defend that area, but he can't. Adren does get that kill. One thing I noticed right there, Anger took a lot of damage on that ramp take. And, you know, we do know Adren didn't have any guns, so they actually met up with each other and totally swapped equipment around because, you know, why not give the guy with the highest health on your team the gun and give him the advantage there? So, I mean, you know, smart play that I would assume people don't necessarily think about all the time that you might want to take into consideration.
Hold the phone. Adren is wielding the op today. Yep. Let's go directly to his perspective and see where iBUYPOWER wants to field this off. No doubt he will try to hit the first shot. He lands the bunny hop, and that's a good strafe jump. That's a hard thing to do, guys. Yeah, it was stylish, especially wielding his red line op. I'll stick with him. There's the shot. We called it. Swag's the first victim. We'll go back to the director. That is one with panache. You know, you kind of knew somebody was there, and Adren knew it as well, and all he had to do was just hit a microscopic shot, and he delivered. That was gorgeous.
Very nice shot. Hard shot to hit. Only aiming for that head with that op, and he did it in the flick fashion, so it was very nice.
Yeah, 20 dropped by Semphis and Adren today, both stars of this match thus far. They'll look to counter that entry with a follow-up, an encore performance, this time to the ramp. Now, they show outer, they get a kill at outer, they force a rotate to outer. Now they want to emphasize ramp, and they want to swing the momentum on the other side of the map. Complexity has countered that by not over-rotating. They were prepared to receive the terrorists on the other side of the map, thinking that they would try to do that. But it looks like, for the most part, iBUYPOWER is just hitting their shots. Semphis stares down one. He needs to get clear of that vent, lest he really just turn himself into a little bit of a sitting duck in that little spot. Skadoodle has moved upper, cleaned up Semphis. Bomb will be planted at upper. 2 left for Complexity, nothing. And Sean Gares, at this moment, really don't want to challenge 4 players.
No, and nice nades right there by iBUYPOWER after securing the site, you know, putting them in the usual spots that the CTs might be coming in. But yeah, like you said, CTs are deciding to save their weapons. They don't really want to try to go for this, as, you know, I think looking at the, let's take a look at the money. Yeah, they need these guns for the next round because it's going to be Nico, and they pick up a nice kill right there. Nothing does, just waiting for Daze to come out, so that's going to be good for them to force that rebuy.
You know, Daze came out of that corner prepared for someone to be waiting for him, so he did a crouch peek. He looked at the corner on the left, thinking, well, no one's there, I'll stand up, and then he got killed. That's got to be really disappointing, because he was kind of prepared, but not totally prepared.
But not totally prepared. When did Nuke become T-sided, by the way?
Well, you know, all the additions to CSGO, including Train, including some of the changes to Inferno, like the widening of the hallways, the change of the banana, have really made a lot of the maps more and more even. Now, it's a far cry to say Nuke is even, or the Train is even, but it's no longer a 10-5, 11-4 map. It's much more of a 9-6 map, and sometimes even 8-7. Adren will step out with his op. He's really on fire today. He has the license to do whatever it is that they ask him to do, and it's just a matter of who's willing to challenge him. Swag, well, he decided to be a little bit courageous last time and found out that he probably chose incorrectly.
Yeah, and you see Adren is moving towards outer with that op once again. He eats that nade, but he's going to be looking for a pick here, and it looks like Complexity is aware of this, and they're using their nades to try and push him off that spot.
Yeah, no reg there for a friendly fire shot. A literal shot just passed right through Adren's body, and you can see the blood showing up, but no registry. And I think, oh well, Adren is down to 70. Maybe he took a little bit of damage. Either way, not terribly consequential. Passive hold here for Complexity. They, unlike iBUYPOWER, who got desperate at the end of the last half, are really content to sit in their spots and play within the confines of the typical meta here. We have people in the smoke. Kiko finds one behind the yellow, gets 1 kill. Sean Gares was in the smoke, trying to ambush people. It's a 3-2 trade, a very clever hold, especially for Sean Gares, who decided to say, I'm not even going to engage. I'm going to stand in the smoke and wait for them to pass by me. 2 left for iBUYPOWER. Anger and AZK, who were part of that assault party, are thinking, well, God, we had a great entrance, but, you know, that was a clever play by Sean Gares. Semphis will drop down and challenge the bomb planter. He hears him. He'll not... Oh, he will let him plant that. I thought he might challenge. They'll wait to do a tandem retake. That smoke will make it difficult to see, but I think Semphis is going to go for the ninja defuse. They hear it. He goes for it. We're down to 3, 2, 1... No defuse. Oh, he finally got it at the very end. It looks like he might have disengaged for just a short moment. 10-10. It's all tied up, Clay. I think we knew that it was initial blowout, but deep down, we knew that this game would be a very close one.
Yeah, Complexity really just digging into their inner ninjas right there. You had Sean Gares using the smoke on that ramp push to be sneaky and, you know, pick up a few easy kills, and then you had that ninja defuse right there. And I mean, they're really coming out strong right now. And they do tie it up 10-10, but, you know, both teams still have guns, so it could be anyone's game this round.
Sean Gares saying, whatever, YOLO. He's going to P90 everybody, sprint through into the lobby. They trade out 2-1. Anger and Daze was not ready we're not ready. Pardon my grammar. We're not ready for the aggression, and they shouldn't be. You know, Clay, when you play passive and you play within the confines of a meta, and you play well passively, you can really set up some really devastating aggressive pushes when people are not expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you are playing passive, like you said, a team gets used to it, and then you decide to play aggressive one round, it's most likely going to catch that team off guard.
You have 3 left for both teams and a roof boost here. AZK will step up right under the rafters to see if anybody's waiting for him in heaven. Let's go to his perspective. Number 3 is looking in. Nobody's there. We'll go back to the director and give us some perspective on the rest of the positions on the map. Hiko and Swag are inside of upper, playing low in the site. One in the hut, one in the vent. Hiko sees one, misses his spray. Swag will help compensate for his miss. Gets a kill while blind. That's a double for him. Adren is 1-on-3, and he's been on fire. Don't put it out of his reach. There's a flash that we saw yesterday, Clay. We'll talk about that in a second. Adren hits the first shot. He's got another chance. He knows somebody's down by the silo. And he gets shot in the toe. Or piercing, actually. You know what, Clay? We had literally seen this yesterday. We were doing some prep work. We were doing our pre-production meetings, talking about how we can be prepared for today, what notes we needed to talk about. And Adren, while we were watching him on game tape, threw that CT side flash into the T side sky flash window. And though it wasn't like a mind-blowing sort of thing, like oh, I hadn't really thought of that. Excuse me, or we hadn't seen that before. From the CT side, we hadn't thought of doing that as a viable retake flash location, and that one was a pleasant surprise. Call us noobs, maybe, but that one we liked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it works as a nice pop flash. I mean, we did see what they tried to do right there. They tried to have AZK, you know, he was boosted up on the raptor spot to look and try to get a kill, but no one was there, so they had him throw some flashes. But they were too predictable. They didn't explode at the right time, and they were easily flicked, so the 2 guys trying to catch it got killed easily.
Full-on set piece here, smoke for the hut, smoke for in front of the mini, pop flash from deep inside the lobby that exploded out inside the silo. Simultaneous take, it was pure artistry. Sean Gares is the only one left, and he is probably going to be a victim of the really trifecta hold on the site. You know, Clay, you don't often see set pieces like that executed that well, especially in a game where we didn't expect any, but I'm quite happy that we were treated to one just now.
Absolutely, iBUYPOWER coming in with that nice pickup and tying the game once again. And this is probably going to be a back and forth here until we reach the final rounds, I'm assuming. Actually, Complexity on a save here, so they're most likely going to have some trouble here defending this unless they can come up with another epic eco round.
Yeah, after a slow start, iBUYPOWER, the machine is starting to roll. It's starting to hum, and Complexity now on the back foot, hoping to at least force a couple of rebuys here, because this is an eco, of course, and they're not expecting too much, but you never know. You never know when Sean Gares fires 5 bullets and gets 3 headshots with a 5.7. You never know.
Adren trying to get a super...
Look at that angle!
Yeah.
Those reflexes, dude. Spray through, Skadoodle in that traditional 1.6 spray spot, trying to find somebody in heaven. He does not. He had a good idea of where to spray, but those conventional spots are not being occupied by the Complexity players. Lobby hold, pretty passive. They're waiting, looking for an aggressive push. Oh no! Adren blows away AZK, a back of the head friendly TK headshot. Why would you do it? Suddenly this round looks like it's Complexities, even though they're on an eco, even though they haven't really done anything. Sean Gares' suicidal push triggered such a reflex that Adren literally just obliterated his teammate, making it a 2-man down situation for iBUYPOWER. That's devastating, Clay.
It is devastating, but it's exactly what Complexity needed. Now they're up 2 men versus iBUYPOWER, and they weren't able to get those guns, unfortunately, to swing it even more into their favor, or, you know, here. But definitely looking strong. I mean, these guys are no slouches when it comes to getting headshots with pistols, so, I mean, it's definitely still possible.
The Complexity team has really let this clock bleed, and now that it's down to 25 seconds, any kind of sound is going to trigger the transfer, and any kind of ambush here is going to be enough. Everybody's going to rotate to this location because iBUYPOWER is not working with enough time. Will they have enough to win this round? They've got 4 on 2. They'll have to hold out. Adren needs to win this battle. It's a 1 on 3. He no-scopes the man behind him. He's got a quick scope, actually. He's got 1 in the vent in front of him, 1 on the left. He's got a flanker actually behind him. 2 seconds left. He needs to hang on to that bomb. He cannot. Excuse me, the gun, not the bomb.
Yeah, the op. He tried to save it, but he got caught up there a little bit and couldn't get out the door. And they knew he was trying to run for it, make a run for it, and save that op. So they cut him off.
What a round. And you know, we went into that round prefacing, hey, don't get your expectations up. This will be a down round, but no down round at all for Complexity. They walk out with a win.
Yeah, very impressive. Like I said, another epic eco round is possible. I mean, you know, when you see the eco rounds come up with these teams, you do expect the team with guns to come out with a win, but you're always just in the back of your mind thinking, okay, well, it's definitely possible for these guys to pull out an eco. So you're always kind of somewhat expecting it.
Now it's time for iBUYPOWER to answer the call to match fire with fire and try to answer with their own eco round. That round all spurred by the suicidal push of Sean Garrison. And I gotta say, I guess that's why people do the suicidal push, in case you get the miracle like that. Here comes the 5-man hut rush. Nothing, sprays first. Connects with nobody. Finally finds AZK as he was falling down from that staircase. Gets another one. Hiko will bring down Skadoodle, and suddenly it's down to just Anger, who is cleaned up quite handily. Complexity is now up by 2.
That last eco round could have been the nail in the coffin here. iBUYPOWER is going to have minimal money here. They can buy, as we see Dazed. He went ahead and bought, so I'm sure he's telling his team, you know, this is going to be a buy run. We got to get this. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, that last round could have been the nail in the coffin for him. But if they can pick up this one, then the hope is still alive. But if Complexity gets this one, I think it's pretty much going to be game.
Yeah, and also to answer those messages that you guys are spamming me with, yes, we do have one more giveaway. Stick around after this. We'll give you guys a free gaming mouse pad to walk away with for watching this and hanging out with us, but only after the end of this match, please. Let's find out what's going on with the round here. A outer push for iBUYPOWER. They will be looking to push people out. I think Complexity is rotating people outer to support because it's a very heavy presence here. They want to pinch toward Hell, but they won't get it if Sempis won't allow it. He's got a double headshot here, a nice 4-burst. He thinks somebody's on top of that. Oh my god. Anger with the 1-tap and cleans up Sempis. That's a trade. Not a favorable one considering they started down a man. Anger goes down after that fantastic double kill showing, Sean Gares will clean that one up. And Complexity's on the tie point.
Yep, and like I was saying, that's going to force iBUYPOWER into another save. Actually, Dazed pulling out an AK. Risky play here. But yeah, they're doing the P250 armor, smokes, and an AK for themselves. So they got something up their sleeve here. Let's see what they're going to do.
Not a terribly large risk if you think about it, Clay. With that buy, he kind of realigns himself with the buying power of his entire team.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a hold. Standard-looking hold for the Complexity side. Still a double ramp look. They've really not varied, and neither has iBUYPOWER since the beginning. They are sold on having the double ramp hold and using that player, the second player, as a swing player to assist in needed locations. Fire in the doorway, preventing the initial rush. Sean Gares, who has been fighting here with AZK regularly, has been trading quite back and forth. Here comes the rush, flashes in. They'll try to take this room, and they bump into each other, literally Three Stooges style. They literally rebounded off each other. It looked a little bit silly, but everybody's human, right?
Yep.
Sean Gares is now below. He retreated from his position. He called for the rotate, and everybody's stalled by these doors. They're waiting for Daze to hit the shot. They're being very careful so that they have a chance to pick up his weapon in case they go down, but they're being systematically picked apart here. Anger, if he doesn't pick up an ace right here, will give up the tie point, and Complexity sits on the game point. Their hot start, Clay, may be the difference between winning and losing today.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. You know, it gave them that big lead they needed to go into the CT half, and, you know, that P250 buy is going to leave iBUYPOWER a little bit shortchanged here on this last round, or potentially last round, as we see, you know, actually some AKs with no armor, a scout
Look at
from
this
Adren.
Makeshift buy. Five total nades, a Galil, a P250, and a scout. Pretty good odds, I would say, if you're iBUYPOWER.
Swag with the op, finally coming out with it, and I was gonna say, we haven't seen him pull it out yet, but he's been the one opping for Complexity lately.
Yes, he has. iBUYPOWER pushing through. They know one's in the garage, but they've turned their back to him. That's very dangerous here. Complexity now cleaning up everybody's down to Skadoodle and Adren, facing off against 3. They'll need to land a kill to equalize iBUYPOWER will. And I think Adren just made one small error, thinking he had an op aim for the torso there. The center mass won't do the job with the scout, as we know. 1-on-3, Complexity wants to wrap this one up and call it a day, advance in the playoffs, and move on through the upper bracket. One person left. Adren, our number 5, is who we will find. He's got his scout, goes for the no-scope, lands it.
Oh my goodness.
The one-on-one, a TK and a no-scope. He almost had it. He's got open space, and he's doing a suicide charge. He says, to hell with it. let's just wrap this one up.